Welcome back to Cookbook Insider. I appreciate you spending time with us, so let's get right into it. 50 Pies, 50 States by Stacy Mei Yang Fong isn't just a cookbook. It's a full-on edible road trip across America. It's hardcover, full color, semi-gloss pages, it's big, it's heavy, and it feels like it matters. Because it does. Published in 2023 by Voracious and clocking in at 365 pages, this book is a pie-fueled love letter to the nation, where each state gets a unique pie that captures something about its spirit, flavor, or iconic ingredients. Now, what's striking is that this concept, one pie per state, sounds almost gimmicky at first. But in Stacy's hands, it becomes something much deeper. The pies aren't just ingredients on a map. They're personal. They're researched, they're deeply felt reflections of each region. Some are nostalgic, some are celebratory, and some are a little cheeky, but all of them feel earned. Now, you might be thinking, it's all about the sweet, right? And sure, there's plenty of that, but it's not just about the sweet treats here. There are plenty of savory surprises in here too. We're talking pies with fruit, cheese, custard, and even meat. Some are towering double crust bakes, others are chilled, delicate, or deconstructed. There's a salmon and halibut pie, a wild rice pudding pie, a beef stew pie, and yes, a few more that flirt with chaos in the best possible way. Look, this book doesn't stick to pie rules. It shatters the pie tin and invents new ones. Now, the first time I flipped through this book and landed on Washington State, I had a deep moment of dread. Pie 47 of 50, the evergreen state. State fruit, apple. State vegetable, Walla Walla sweet onion. And my brain went, dear Lord, are we about to go full Frankenstein with an apple onion pie? Thankfully, no. Instead, we get a Rainier cherry and apple pie with a potato chip crumble, which, honestly, that's a flex. And on a personal note, I lived in Washington for a decade and didn't even know we had a state vegetable. Look, this book taught me that and gave me a killer pie idea in the same breath. I love Rainier cherries. Now, the structure of 50 Pies, 50 States is beautifully simple. Each state gets a section, a dedicated story, a visual, and a recipe. And what makes this book shine is how much care goes into the storytelling. The author doesn't just slap a regional fruit into a crust and call it good. She digs into cultural references, personal memories, and state-specific trivia that actually feels like it belongs in the mix. Oh, and at the end of each state section, Stacy leaves a dedication, a note about the person that she's dedicating that pie to. It's very endearing, epically thoughtful, and just fun to read about the influences in her life. This is the kind of book that have you bookmarking half the states before you're even through the M's. You won't just think, wow, that looks good. You'll be thinking, I should do that tonight. And there is something inviting about the tone of this book. It's confident, but not fussy. And it really feels like it just wants you in the kitchen, not just admiring from the couch. It really is road trip meets scrapbook meets test kitchen, and somehow it all just works. The whole aesthetic gives you this vibe of a well-loved travel journal that just so happens to also contain over 4 dozen excellent pie recipes. Every page in this book is visually considered, blends clean design with bursts of personality. There are full-page pie photos shot from above, state mottos and facts laid out like road signs, and personal notes from Stacy that feel more like journal entries than recipe intros. Each state has its own vibe, but the book still flows like a single story. It's not messy or scrapbooked. It's editorial, polished, and playful in a way that invites you to just linger in the book. Now, this author, she's a Brooklyn-based baker with roots in Singapore and Indonesia. She didn't grow up with 4th of July barbecues or traditional Americana-based desserts, but that outsider's lens, It gives this book its magic. Her affection for the US is deeply personal and very specific. This isn't jingoistic patriotism. It's a heartfelt, hands-on, hands-in-the-dough love for what food can tell us about places, people, and memories. She created these pies not just as a celebration of the States, but as a tribute to the people she loves and the places that have shaped her. It's the kind of project someone who chose this country could write. It's less stars and stripes and more butter and crust. Look, here's a few standouts from this book, okay? From Hawaii, the coconut cream pie, or coconut cream pie with upside down pineapple topping. Look, this might seem obvious even though I'm struggling, but it's doubtful you've ever had one this well executed. From South Dakota, the wild rice pudding pie with berry bergamot spoon sweet and maple sunflower pepita crunch. Holy cow, it's wild, it's weird, and it works. And from Florida, of course, it's a key lime pie. Nothing prepackaged here though. This is all real, and the only shocker is that sunshine is not listed as an actual ingredient. And because you're wondering, no, not every pie is meant to be traditional. There's lots of playfulness and risk throughout this book. This is one of those rare books where the author's voice is loud enough to be fun, but not so loud it drowns out the food. And this book looks and feels like a premium artifact. The pages have a slight sheen that makes the colors pop, but still feels pleasant in the hand. It lays flat enough for baking, but also reads like a coffee table book. And at that 365 pages, it's not just a flick through. It's a legit sit down with a coffee and read kind of situation. This is the kind of cookbook that you gift to yourself or probably someone else because it tells a story. It invites participation, and honestly, it's just a whole vibe. Look, if you're a collector, this book belongs on your shelf. If you're a baker, it belongs on your counter. If you're just somebody who loves stories behind food and wants to explore the country without gas money or traffic, it belongs in your lap with a fork nearby. I can tell you, 50 Pies, 50 States is ambitious, heartfelt, quirky, and delicious. It's not just a cookbook. It's a road trip in 9-inch crusts. It's 3 cups of love piled 1.5 inches deep with gratitude. And if this sounds like your kind of journey, you'll find the link to the book down in the description. And hey, if you're baked one of these or you're planning a 50-state pie challenge of your own, drop a comment below. I want to hear about the hits and the misses. Now, we've got more cookbooks coming, more flavors to explore, and yes, eventually, I will have an opinion about pineapple on pizza, but that's a pie for another day. Thanks for watching, and hey, maybe go bake something.